right-hand corner, you'll see SET on TradingView. Okay, if you toggle that, see what it does? It changes the volume imbalance. Many of you probably had your volume imbalance set to that. I shouldn't say many of you, I only had a few of them. But I had a couple people leaving comments saying, hey, mine was already filled in. I don't know what you're doing. You're making a mistake. I'm capable of making a mistake, but I'm not going to make that mistake while I'm trading and I'm looking at the levels I'm reaching for. And what I do is, and this is the answer to the question, do I toggle the settlement? This is basically allowing the trading view to use the settlement price as the close on your daily chart candles or not. And to answer your question and make it very simple, I'm looking for PV arrays, whether I'm using the settlement price toggled on or off. Now, I'm showing you here, this is what you probably had on yours. That's not a problem, that's not a mistake. It just means that you didn't do this to see the wider volume imbalance that was there. I'm always going to afford myself the range that's a little bit beyond where the initial one was. So if there's a fair value gap, one toggle of settlement used or not used, and it's broader and wider, I'm going to elect to use the wider one. I'm not trying to get the smaller one. I'm going to use the wider one. The same thing happens here. This is the one I'm using. That's what's on my chart, okay? When we traded up to this candlestick right there, remember, this is what I said. Well, we went up to this part, and we had that remaining portion left. And then it traded through it. But volume imbalances are what? Inefficiencies. And inefficiencies are gaps. Gaps are not one and done, filled and forgotten, tossed out with the, toss the baby out with the bathwater. It's already done now. That gap is filled. We're not retail. We don't think like retail. We're not, John Petticoat style of mentorship. We're not trying to do stupid ass backward stuff. Okay, we're not trying to think like street money. We're not trying to think that, the algorithms changed, because I'm going to rub somebody's nose in it today with that. The idea of toggling back and forth, I see this rejection block, okay? But the same thing, I want to see where does that candle body go if I toggle it off. And that's why that's my rejection block, because it's the one that's further away. Further away from where, ICT? Well, when it's down here and I'm reaching up for them, these are premium arrays. When price was below this volume imbalance, like that, and we're below it down here, that's a premium array. We want to see it dig into that. Go back and listen to Tuesday's August 13, 2024 live stream. Towards the end of the live stream, I walk you through the daily chart. Okay, I'm showing you all the levels. The rejection block was the next, then we have consequent encroachment of this wick, and then we have the high where the buy side is. And I said, ultimately, as long as nothing happens in the Middle East, we're probably going to trade up into this inefficiency here. And I'll have to see how we trade in there to determine whether or not I feel convicted enough to go into this high here. Just go back, it's there. Okay, I can't change it, I'm not able to edit anything, but you can see that's where we reached into. Now, we have continuously pressed in, and I told you that it's not likely to be sustained having this many days up without a down close candle, so it's unsustainable. And that's why we had this singular down close candle, which is good. You want to see that, and you want to see this price respect that. It trades above it, yes. And today we opened, traded down into that candle, and then rallied back up. Where's it reaching into? The rejection block that you toggle here. Now, this is the part that frustrates some individuals, because there's too many parts, there's too many moving parts. Well, listen, folks. You're expecting to be able to walk out of high school, quit university, say,
take out of ARM, I would probably try to maintain more of a bullish stance here as long as we're over this 129 flat. You guys know the rules. Let's get rid of the 12 cents. There you go. 129 flat. Failed in the lower wick, failed in these wicks. This consolidation didn't really do much underneath, and now we're right back on it. The 129. If we're in here, neutral to bullish consolidation, this is the executable idea. This is probably where we want to start changing our tone a little bit under 129. Hopefully that helps. Daniel's talking about Intel chips are, you don't see them in, they're not using them in the Windows computers or what are those called, Surfaces, I think. You guys know Mac through and through, so I'm all about all about what used to be the AMD chips in the Mac. Now Apple has their own silicon chip. M3, think lightning speed, man, let me tell you. If you ever get your chance, if you got the opportunity to upgrade your computer like on a pretty consistent basis to the state of the art, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. Especially as a trader, you're working off this machine. It's a write-off for anybody who's interested and possibly has, their trading going through an LLC as a business. I'm not offering tax advice here. You should certainly consult your accountant for your specific needs. But staying up to date on hardware is, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. It seems like a very low-risk thing that you could do, right? You keep your stuff up to date, and you're less prone to lag, slow issues, vulnerabilities, the whole nine yards. Anyways, that's that. So Intel, going through a restructure, not competitive in the AI space. I don't know that I would necessarily try to jump in here and buy it at these prices. If we take a look at let's go way out. Monthly, we want more than 5 years. Monthly max. I would say if it continues down to like 15s, if we were to get to like 15s out of Intel, maybe it's worth trying to like pick off something that looks like this, for an investment perspective. But there's its heyday, the .com era. It's never even made a new high. So I think that there are new kids on the block. I think that this is one of those classic rotations where, you probably got some outsized, you definitely got some outsized return from Intel back here, but that, unless you captured it, I don't know that it's going to ever give you the same bang for its buck. And I think new kids on the block are the name of the game, and this is why investing in actively managed ETFs, someone who will rotate. Basically, I'm talking about the S&P ETFs, right? Someone who will rotate those top companies in and out for you. You're going to avoid the larger downdrafts. They're going to be weighted apparently, or appropriately, I should say. Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. Eugene. Yeah. Mac used to use Intel, and then they switched over to AMD chips. Yep, that is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And now they've got their own. So just the progression of technology. Intel is sort of just being phased out, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody using Intel as a gaming chip. It's everybody always talks about the RTX NVIDIA chips, right? So, is there a levered AVGO ETF? Not that I know of, but maybe you could look into a company called Granite Shares. They offer a leveraged NVIDIA ETF. NVIDIA is an ETF or just like proxies. So you could check out Granite Shares. Maybe they have something, but not that I know of. They never used AMD. Am I totally? Are you sure? I'm thinking of ARM. That could be it. Stefan. Stefan. Thank you for the correction. NVDL. Yeah, that's the leverage one. Yep. CPUs, GPUs. Yeah, I'm not a hardware guy. All I'm saying is, to me it makes sense that you would have the latest hardware. And you can go out and get it, relatively cheap as a trader. I think it's worth the investment. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. We've got about 60 seconds to go until the bell. Because we've hit 100K, let's just hang out here for first 5. We'll do another first 5. I am going to take some sips of water and coffee, though, and we'll hang out here for a second. AVGX is the 2 times long AVGO ETF from Mr. Dad. Awesome. AMD is significant in gaming. That's absolutely correct. Yeah, I know that, and the NVIDIA chips are a big deal. But you're right. I was probably conflating ARM and AMD with the Apple product. Anyhow, if you're going to tune out, that's cool. Have yourself a green trading day. I hope you have a solid one up here at these highs. And we'll stick around for about the next 5 minutes or so and see what the markets want to offer us. All right. Preparing for that. I'm going to jump on over to this quad just so we can see the multi-time frame approach. There's the ding, ding, ding. I don't know. I didn't have the volume cranked, so you may or may not have heard it. But let's take this multi-time frame approach and let's run with it. And we'll start looking at the first indications. I do want to see how the internals are slated to open up here. And we will progress from there. Whoa, that's the auto zoom. Let's try that again.
for longs today. He feels as though we're in a little bit of no man's land, he said, on the hourly and the 30-minute chart. This channel, he's not looking for any shorts until we sufficiently break this channel. Looks like we're breaking it to the upside now. Opening range in the S&Ps is 5 in the orders. Opening range in the NASDAQ is 33 points. A little bit inhibitive if we're going to be looking to take that. That would be a little tough to get the check marks on that. We've just taken out the highs of those opening ranges. I'm thinking, let's let this market kind of maybe give us a pullback to the session high from yesterday to give it a chance to close that gap. We have information coming out at 8:45, 9 o'clock, 9:30 is that, so that ain't gonna be it. So there's a lot we're looking for as far as information. I've been a buyer in this market for quite some time. I've just got to be patient and look for the right location, the right opportunity, and the right spot. We found a couple of good spots yesterday. S&P's traded first down to that base of that late spike a couple of times for some decent opportunities. Ended up taking a look down the weekly kickoff low and is currently continuing the march to the upside. The NASDAQ is...
Oh wow, Tesla is dumping. What is going on with Tesla?
Opened above, we've got a gap above the weekly kickoff.
Wow, Apple's dumping.
Love to see an opportunity to go back and recheck that weekly kickoff high for a potential opportunity for an execution. And then we'll see if we can continue this move to the upside. But with a lot of data still due out, whether it's impactful or not, it's going to be, I think, a little bit of hurry up and wait today.
Hurry up and wait. All right, well, NASDAQ was shot out of can there for a minute. Trying to figure out what's in this 20,000 even level. I'll still find some buyers. Anne Marie, what are we looking to do today in the equities?
So it is, I'm right on board with everything that John is saying. These dips have just...
And Q's pushing down here, guys. Be careful.
All day long, all week long, all month long. And I also agree with the person that said we're sitting in no man's land. What you're actually seeing, if you want to replicate these, I've been talking to Andre a little bit about trying to build some quantitative lines in the sand that are just purely measured moves. And so I've moved between settlements and the first 30 minutes and the first hour of the actual opening of the markets. And so that's what I've been drawing the last few days. Those levels that you got from yesterday were based completely on the 6 to 7 o'clock hour Eastern time. Off of that hour, I drew a Fibonacci and then just expanded it. So on the NQs, if we, nope, that's not how you do it.
You're holding real heavy here. New lows.
Yeah, that should be falling. Now, here's what I saw with gold. Whoopsie, not GB, Anne-Marie.
Should be falling, Anne Marie says.
Yeah, it should be fading, and here's my thought about why. We're going to check out these daily ranges, and now what we're looking at is Coach J's 50% rotation down into that maybe 25-12 area, and then we'll see if buyers come in to that zone. This is the marker this is the chart on the right-hand side. That is old resistance, new support. I'll draw a line there super quickly as the equities go racing to the north. We're going to draw that line at that 2319 area, and then I'm going to collapse it into a 5-minute and see if we see any buyers come in at that.
All right, Anne Marie, I've got a level there as well. Monday's afternoon pullback low was actually kind of a morning pullback low, but that's where the buyers came in earlier. It came back down to that level as buyers came in, and that level is 25.1580. So we've got a little confluence in that area.
Like at 15.
Yeah, so we've got that with maybe about 4 points of risk. So
oh wow,
for gold, that's $400 on the for the
that is ugly.
motion. And so there comes, it's starting to come in right off of that zone. They're going to dance around a little bit, I think, because everybody's really playing around in gold. Like I mentioned last time we were on together, something's afoot, but I don't know what
Order
it is.
filled.
But I do think it's dip buying. I do think
Order
it's
filled.
dip buying. So
What is going on here?
just to keep our eyes on that. I have not found a reliable measure in gold
Order
the way I
filled.
see in the NT and the ES, and so I'm still working with that. Hopefully, oh, there it is. There's another level of yours. What is this top step level here?
Just to say, we have now closed the session gap in the NASDAQ just by a few ticks.
Okay, so take a look at where that bounce came in. Do you see this green line right here? That is my Fibonacci line that measures, let's go back. See, that's the, it came right into 2, the Fibonacci level 2, and is bouncing right off of it. It blew past the 3 of this morning and almost came into 3.168, and then as soon as it lost that 20, it faded right into that zone. So these are working really nicely. Another way I like to bring those together is look at 2 candles to the left on the 30-minute to see if these Fibonacci's have any weight. And
Yes,
if
they
you've
do.
got congestion there, you'll be able to see, hey, listen, I can put a trade out there and wait. Now,
Do you like a revisit of that level for a potential long? If so, what's the risk?
yeah, I do, but I believe the risk is fairly high, and here's why.
Order filled.
I am still of the mind that the people moving the market higher are shorts because of how they're hedging against their equity risk. And so these savage moves up are just sellers running for the door,
Order
and
filled.
dip buyers are those value area guys that are just coming in and saying, listen, I know this is moving higher, I'm just waiting for these savage dips and rotating over. Now, why do I think there's a lot of risk here? Because our 5-minute formation is building potentially Dakota's 3-bar reversal. Depends where it closes. And so something else super interesting is I've been looking at this 1 minute. I drew a GAN box around the 1 minute opening range, which I find to be very interesting. Once we get into it, we normally go to the baseline of it. So it's really, really messy here. I like the longs, but I think there's a lot of risk if there's a 3-bar reversal here, and it looks like
Understood.
that's what we're
Does
doing.
it-
So
Does it help to say that the
Order
weekly
filled.
kickoff high is 19,974?
Pull back. Right here, right now.
yeah, I
Order
think
filled.
it comes into the VWAP, which is
Comes into VWAP. I was just thinking that. I like that thought. Do we like VWAP for over? Do we like VWAP for a long?
I do.
Looking at 30-minute chart, we're leaving a lot of room to the upside on a 3-minute chart in the NASDAQ right now. So I like, if we're going long around VWAP, I like the long below VWAP. That's what
That's
our
a
guys
good-
have to do.
Yeah.
What about if it takes, looks below VWAP, comes back above?
Also, because it's a buy the dip, I think that's, if we focus on the see money, take money event,
Hmm.
that might be it. Now, we have the 3-bar reversal, so now, it's either gonna continue into that VWAP or bounce, and, as long as we don't get above 20,000, it's a short rotation back into the VWAP. So we've got 2 trades, I'm thinking, we have a long off of the VWAP and maybe just a little bit below and then a potential short if we don't reach 20,000 again.
Order
The
filled.
quick snap trader could have
Order
bought that
filled.
19,977 area. Again, if you want to draw that, just look to that opening 1 hour and use your Fibonacci tool and just do it in the 1.618, 2.618, 3.618. What
Order filled.
Good question, Ambry. I was just going to ask my main man, Eddie, the same thing. Eddie, what do we got coming out today?
We've got numbers coming up here in about 5 minutes. We got our global U.S. manufacturing PMI. That's going to be coming up here in about inside of 20. Existing home sales. We got natural gas inside of an hour, 10 o'clock. We also do have our AC Fed manufacturing. 10:30, 4-week bill auction, 8-week. 12 o'clock, we got a 30-year tips auction. And later on, we got the Fed's balance sheet. So coming up here inside of 5 minutes here. We'll get that number out as soon as it hits the wire. Thank you, Andre.
Awesome, thank you. I want to throw it back to Ian. Yeah, go ahead, Ambry.
Yeah, I took a quick short at this 20,000 level, and it's going to be a cheap short. Going to take about, I'm going to use the 75% retracement of the initial balance. It's going to risk $300, and then the target range is going to be that Fibonacci level at 19,983. Now, there's nothing that's confirmed. Absolutely nothing. That's just the quick strike trade off of the 20,000 if you're a scalper, and we're still inside of that opening range, that 1 minute opening range for the NAS. So now we're looking to see if that's, I'm going to use John's term, the dead-ass high. And we'll see if that top has been put in for the day, and we just sort of grind into, whenever that first Fed speaker comes around.
Yeah, we got some comments for the wire here real quick. We got the Fed at Harker speaking, talking about job markets are now mostly normalized. He's also saying inflation moving down, but will take time to get to 2%. Unemployment likely to rise just below 5%. And he says, I'm ready to start the process of cutting rates. This is coming from Fed Harker. Hot off the wire.
Hey, Eddie, who else do we have on the schedule for speakers? I'm not seeing it on the juice.
No, you know what? They're
But I
not.
think we got a ton today. We got a ton of speakers today, right?
For that in the chat, not major, but this is
Order
highlighted
filled.
in hot for Harker. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's the hot speaker.
I don't think that they're scheduled. They just might start talking at any time.
That's what I feel
Yeah,
like.
are you talking about the,
What's happening?
are you talking about the Jackson Hole line?
Order filled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that for me? Thank you, JD. I know on CNBC they showed all their, well, it has nice trade, Emery.
Thank you.
1 minute here.
Alright, cool. Yeah, JD, if you pull next, I don't, just slack.
Order filled.
That's,
Don't we all wish we had a gig where you could say anything we wanted, fish, hang out with our friends?
really get one of those, Anne-Marie. Hey, Anne-Marie, quick question. When did you start incorporating fibs in your
Order
trading
filled.
strategy?
So I have been using fibs
30 seconds.
since the Stone Age. So
Really? Okay.
yeah, I've always used them. I just hide them because they get very noisy. And so
I see.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to my end goal is
That's
to
very
be
thin.
able to build a strategy for us that can sit on
Right. Real quick here, Anne Marie.
yeah.
Numbers coming out. The service PMI coming out at 55.2. They were looking at 54. Manufacturing PMI flash. They were looking at 49.5, coming in at 48, and the composite PMI, they were looking at 52.2, coming in at 54.1. That's what we got right now. Coming up here, also top of the hour, existing home sales. So heads up. Thank you, Anne Marie.
Oh yeah, so I what my goal is to build a strategy, and you know, every strategy is going to have some squish, right? And so my
Old squish, yep.
Yeah. And so what I want to do is sort of discover the lines in the sand that big traders are using and just sort of exploit that. And that's what's made me force myself into these measured moves, because we know when we build algorithms, it's not going to be, hey, let's use the top of the, you know, whatever trend line that we're seeing or moving average that we're seeing. They're doing things that are very mechanically, okay, here we come into the VWAP, maybe we'll get
Yeah,
that.
here we go. Do we still like those?
You gotta buy just above it and then just below it.
Oh, I got view up at 960. Take a look at the top step
Yeah, that's
daily levels. Yeah, we got 4-hour supply, 19,954. About 19,990.
The Fibonacci that it just bounced off of is way back here, and I can't remember I have to start remembering what colors I put on. So the 1.618, I gotta have a legend on the side. The 1.618 just gave us the bounce, but we're still in a general retracement. So I think that we still wait until that opening tick test down here in the first hour of trading, where we have, I don't know, what is that number? It looks like order bill, 14,957 is where that opening range top for the first hour of trading in the overnight came in. But you can see that reflexive movement. So for the snap trader, for the trader that goes, boom, I'm taking it and I'm in out. Yes, in out. And so for those of us that maybe like a quieter cycle, we have to look at the great big trend, which is why I drew the blue trend line up there to remind me, okay, knucklehead, don't take any shorts when you've got such a savage move to the north. Just pay attention, and if you do take the short, in out, right to the level, which is what I did. I went in at the 20,000, and I got out at that Fibonacci level near the 77 zone.
S&P just closed the session gap, just to let you know. So the session gaps are closed. It seems to be rejecting. Go ahead, Andre. You were going to ask Eddie something.
How's the SGD? Did you get a rundown of the speakers for today by any chance?
All I'm seeing is the opening reception right now. I haven't seen a list of anybody talking yet for today. I'll keep you posted though. I'm going to dig around.
We get blindsided left and right by speakers hitting the wires today. Buckle up. See profit, take profit. Just like,
Auditioning for their next jobs.
100%. Nice. Uh-oh.
Yeah, some more hot biscuits out of the oven here. The S&P PMI report, employment fell in August, dropping for the first time in 3 months, and net job losses have now been reported in 3 of the past 5 months, marking the softest spell of payroll growth since the first half of 2020. It's hot off the wire.
Eddie, you mentioned Brooksy had some levels?
Brooksy had some levels. Yes, for ES, talking about the ES. My all-star Brooksy here for Team E-Money. Looking for the downside here. 56.34.50, and got a little room there. 56.27 quarter. Failure to hold yesterday's trading range. Brooksy said he'd be looking for the 56.02 quarter, down to 55.93.50. We start this rally, get the buyers back in again. No untested levels in the volume profile now until we get to July 16th trading. His range is top side 56.93 quarter, ranging to 57.05.75. And that's what I got for Brooksy. Thanks, Brooksy. Thank you.
Breaking through VWAP right now.
Yes, and Q Dow falling off more is Brew taking a bit of a pop above $72. Last trade $72.37. gold, as well as trade 25-23. Here, real quick, upper left-hand corner of the screen, just above my head there, you see hashtag fast markets. Hit us up at Twitter at
Order
X.
filled.
Hashtag fast markets as we keep breaks. Anything you want to share with
Order
us?
filled.
Traders, command stations, swag, memes, what have you. Turn it around to you guys in a couple of hours. But like JD just said, we are breaking through VWAP. All right, JD, we're talking about here on the open. You want to see a pullback beneath VWAP and perhaps a push back through if we were going to take long?
Yeah, looking at our daily levels page, Coach Jay has a gap high at 19,946 back from July 23rd, which we're kissing
Order
right
filled.
now. So we've got a couple areas of confluence there if we were so inclined to take a long right now, but sellers seem to be in control at the moment.
For sure.
My guy Hobbs
Order filled.
pointing out the channel that the S&P was in really on the minute chart. This is a 30-minute
Order
chart,
filled.
but right down near the bottom of that channel right now.
Yep. Hold resistance, new support.
Support, yep. 19,946 was that level, JD?
Order filled.
946.
Order filled.
Just kissed it. I think we hit 44.
Wow. Good level
The
there. 460.
reflexive
filled.
buying is insane. So I got
Totally do it.
stuffed out and went right back in.
Yeah, Mary, what we see in that type of market so far, reflexive buying, reflexive selling, what does that do with your exit strategies when you enter a trade?
So, oh my gosh, Andre, this is a really great question, and it purely identifies the reason that it can be very difficult for combine traders and XFA traders that are watching their risk events, and it requires the individual to be quite a bit more focused on size and what their overall risk level is. Now, for me as a trader, I have some habits that every single
Order filled.
one of our risk guys would, they'd have me in, what do they call those? The stocks, where they find you up in the middle of the street and
Yeah.
they put their hands in
Order
the air.
filled.
And it's because, those kinds of stocks. Because I am so focused on that motion of reflexivity, I am willing to size and size and size and size, and that does not work when
Order
you are
filled.
using a
Order
combine
filled.
and an XFA. And so that's the reason I've had so much trouble with these. Full disclosure, my trading style over many years has been very focused on that move that bounces back into mean reversion. I'm constantly like that, but also relative to trend. And so the takeaway there is,
Order
that
filled.
was a fantastic question, Andre, because it brings full disclosure out. I have really tough time getting, I don't have a tough time getting, I have a tough time staying in the XFAs because of that risk that begins to widen. And for me, I'm just, all right, I know where that's going in general. And so over time, it moves just exactly the way I want it to. So for the trader that's looking at the combine event, I'd still slip to the micros.
There you go.
This is because the BVIX continues to rise, and that's the volatility of the VIX instrument. We are
Volatility of
going to
volatility.
continue- Yes, exactly. We're going to see those big
Order rejected.
stretches of market motion, and the better bet is, although you think, hey, listen, I'm going to get there faster if I use minis, you've got to go to the micros and watch your size as long as your strategy holds. Now, I just when we were on with Dr. Brett, I was listening to him, and someone had a question, and he said, hey, I've been working really hard, and I can't seem to get over this. The simple answer is, you're running the
Order
wrong
rejected.
strategy. If you can't get to where you want to go.
In the
You're
hizzle.
running the wrong strategy, and you have a good strategy, and you're not managing the risk. And so those are really the only two. Sure, there's a lot of psychological drama that goes on as a trader, but at the end of the day, if you're doing something over and over and over and over and over again, and it's not getting you the results, you gotta step back and go, wait a second, what am I doing wrong? And that's really
5
hard
minutes
for us.
remaining. 5 minutes. 5 minutes till existing home sales. I think I saw we have a speaker at the top of the hour. I believe I saw that on CBC. Hey JD. We're sixes. We're nice. All right, so we're starting to see some levels pretty decently. Is Captain in the house yet, JD?
Captain is sitting on his hands right now. He likes, he sees some stats to the downside around 900, but he's waiting for the trend to develop. His exact quote was, "The market needs to show me its hand before I get it right now."
So the ducks aren't quacking yet.
The ducks are not quacking yet. We're choppy right now.
We got the house account open. Hogue, you're executing on the house account.
Our initial balance right now. So
Yes.
we're in the middle. House account is open.
Took me 20,000 short again.
Right, go back to the well.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa. Here we go. Yeah, we got harder talks. Look at those Tetons. Look at CBC. Man, those are great Tetons. The Teton Mountain Range is beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yes, it
It's
is.
on my bucket
Sharp.
list.
Jagged.
Million sticks in
Some time there,
distance
I
is an upside balance range at 20,000, 27 half, which we just kissed right off the opening range at 25. Possibly looking for some direction trade above there. Those got a
Yeah, so far we got $100,000. How many trades is it?
It is 6 trades. I can count on my freaking hands how many trades that is taken me to get to 100,000. So to finally hit 100K in 6 trades, I was like, whoa, this is great. You're making incredible progress. I mean, sniper entries, beautiful setups. I didn't realize that a lot of people aren't actually doing what they're saying.
There you go.
Get above that, we may repair the double distribution trend day from yesterday.
Orange are ones that didn't take the rules. Develop extra rules for your play style, and it works. Stick to it. Yes, sir.
50% range of the opening 1 minute candle in the NQ. So, I'm just going to get out of that. I don't like how big it moved, but I'm pretty sure it's going to rotate down just to,
The money though, right?
you know.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Gucci there.
Did you say Gucci?
Yeah, so sorry, man, we're good there. We are good. Yes, we're good there. That's slip.
Not
That's not
Versace.
how I talk. That's not how I talk on camera. That is not how I talk. We talk.
Way to read the room, Andre. Way to read the room.
That's how the kids talk, Anne-Marie. Say it's Gucci.
I try to pick up the kid lingo. I do.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
good.
Like
Hey,
Gucci.
Yeah.
We Gucci. There we go. Something check against me. Sorry about that.
Here we go. Right back down to weekly kickoff.
Dang it.
High in the NASDAQ.
Such a win.
Hey, we got, all right, Eddie, we got 40 seconds till existing home sales. And we have some speakers coming out. All right, we're heading on a swivel today, folks. They're going to be coming out fast and furious throughout the day. We got our levels. 19,946 for the house account. Check to there for the long. We'll see if we can take it again. And
So we talked about this yesterday. Canada's two major freight railroads, they went on strike this morning. It happened. They're
It
trying to
happened,
stop
okay,
it.
good. There you go.
Good.
AT&T's
It's not
on
good.
strike
They can
too.
cripple our economy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they were looking for it in the chat. I'm glad you came over
Yes.
with them.
There's lumber limit up.
All right, hey, we got home sales here right now coming in at 1.3%. They were looking at 1.29, pretty close. We'll give it to them.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday, from a macro, there are more single-family homes for sale, on the market than we had in 2021. I think it's the lowest level we've seen since 2021. Highest level, excuse me, highest level.
Andy Harker were the first speaker headlines to hit today.
No, we
Was-
had, Collins earlier today. Yeah, it was,
Keep up on We got Harker coming on here on CNBC. And Fast and Furious. All right, JD, keep us posted on captains, levels, Emery. Well, another time a little shorts to 20,000. And again, we got VWAP 19,964. How's it coming? Back to it. Alright, just beneath it, we those 946s.
I don't know if it holds well the second time down. That was the high of the gap.
Yeah.
Right? Low of that gap now.
Right. That's,
I'm reading this article on the
It's VWAP.
the rail stoppage.
Yeah, that's not
checked
good.
last time down.
Say again, John?
It's VWAP there in the NASDAQ. I mean, it did reject it the last time down. It gives us a little bit of opportunity to limit risk if we can take it all the way down 944.
Yeah, that's
That's a risk in that.
That'd be stop 4-4.
Yeah, that's a lot of risk in that.
yeah, and the jobs number low looks like about 19,938. Is that right? Something like that? Or 937?
938, 937. What are you looking for, Henry, at that level?
19,937 was the low tick on the 830 move.
Yes.
Good call, JD, on saying not going back to that VWAP as it breaks. That's, yep, good.
Yeah, so far we've got 100,000 up.
Just a quick update here. All rail traffic in Canada and all
Yeah, so far we've got 100.
crossing the border have stopped.
alright. Time to go to the store.
Yeah, lumber.
1,000 up. How many trades is it?
It's 6 trades. I can count them. Freaking hands.
1%.
I think the only thing really not affected, crude oil comes through pipelines, right? So you don't really ship that by rail across the border. If I'm not
Pipelines
mistaken.
can't go on strike.
Yeah. Standard Oil used to do that, but then I think we had a bunch of clashes and it spilled out all over the place someplace, so.
No.
That maple syrup.
Golfer says.
Knock out my maple syrup. They're saying the shit.
Any of you guys see how Canada regulates maple syrup though? Have you guys ever seen it?
Like gold.
Oh, yes.
It can only be like
It
3
is.
ingredients, right? Yeah.
Not only that, it's how they release it into the marketplace, and you have to belong to a consortium to even sell it. No matter if you have a bazillion maple trees, if you don't belong to that consortium and you put it out in the market, it's illegal.
And very expensive.
So what's the market for like maple syrup in Canada?
I was gonna say, hook it up. Where's
It's
that?
probably pretty high. I know they had a great big theft about 10 years ago. They did a big Netflix special on it. That's the only reason I know anything about the. I'm always
Maple
looking
syrup
for-
paste.
Yes,
Liquid gold.
it is.
Oof. Yeah, it's watching. He loves that maple syrup. Anyways, all right. Still selling off here. Hey, I've got still that check mark at in gold here at 25.15.
Yeah, it's stalling out there, isn't it? Trying to hold that ledge.
Still the check marks there in the gold there, Hoog.
My thought,
Yeah, we got 3 of us, you know, we got Andrew, me, and Jay all looking at that level.
and see, here's the thing. If we've got a downward trend like our 5-minute chart shows, and we stall, market theory says a chart in trend that breaks the trend by time and not price reverts most of the time into the direction of trend. So I wouldn't be surprised if this breaks the level and then recaptures it. So it might be a good place to look for a 3-bar reversal there. Just to confirm that that's doing that. Look at the Qs. They are just all over the stinking place.
If you look at the S&Ps held VWAP last time down. was the good spot. Thanks, Hobbs, for that.
Hey, in the house.
What's up? Sorry, Lakers in the house?
If we're looking at NASDAQ, we got Coach J here today. We see the 19980 start to hold like the buy side. Conservative target at 20.010. Ultimate target is 21.50. Not liking this price action though. Coach J seems to be sort of holding back a little bit. Also, real quick comments here on gold. My Brooksy talking about gold tagged the August 16th session VWAP that was left untested to the tick.
Yeah. Spider-Man was.
Low end of Coach J's gap in the NQ is 881, 19,881. That could be our target here. Who's in the market? I heard that.
That's me. 19,937 was that Fibonacci. So I just took it at Fibonacci. We'll see if it gets reflexive. Maybe I can get 10, 20 points out of it.
It's that 935, 5% off the ultimate line and NASDAQ as well.
Oh yeah.
Gets stepped out on an attempted long in gold. He says he says it's probably looking for that 25.15 to 80, which is that morning pullback low we discussed earlier. We're starting to spend some time inside the ranges from yesterday in the equities, which kind of is freaking me out a little bit. I'd like to see it get down to value high yesterday, and then in the S&Ps that's 56.42.75. The Nasdaq it's 19,912. And if we spend some time below that, then it's value acceptance, and we could move these things, a little bit lower than that.
Okay.
Right now I'm just kind of hands on my butt right now.
I like Coach J's gap target at 19,881. We've also got yesterday's value area high at 913, settlement at 909. Those are targets right now. I think if we get another pop, let's go to our levels, guys, and figure out levels to scale into a short here.
Cool. All right, target. Yeah. 19,881. Target, downside target in the NQ.
Oh, much risk.
Now we're still selling off in the 40,000 last trade. 40,000. 950. Some more sellers in NQ.
So now we're inside the first hour of trading in the NQ, and that low for the first hour of trading is 19,912. If we get below that, I'm just going to reverse the Fibonacci. There's that test. I'm sure they'll come in for a little bit of
912. That's value high from yesterday as well.
Yeah. All right. So
settlement at 09.
whoa, look at that. Man, I'm glad
look up
I'm
beneath.
not in there.
We're inside value from yesterday.
Inside value from yesterday.
Yes.
Gold just hit that 25.15 level as well. 25.15. Right off of it.
And they are bouncing off these numbers like.
Got a one loud reminder to Sim, of course, just to see if we got tags in it.
S&P and the Nasdaq back to settlement.
Settlement.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's the settlement test.
ES2. Lower the moving ES for settlement.
Parker speaking on CNBC.
Moving along on our
I've
levels.
taken that trade.
We have crude moving into zone 4.
And were you talking long down there? That's something.
Yeah, that settlement in the ES, but again, it's very reflexive because it bounced to 44-ish and then ran right into sellers. So we might need to look to see the dome where they are sitting. And now I'm going to put an anchored VWAP on this 1 minute, our opening range, on our 1 minute candlestick.
Regular trading hours?
Yes, 9:30.
Haven't seen anything yet, JD. Well, wait. Let things develop.
Yeah, that.
Captain is waiting for 889 before longs, and that's
889
right
check
around
mark.
8.
That's
right around the gap fill. Coach J's gap fill at 881. So
Love it.
let's just call it 880.
880 to check marks.
Got some minor comments from Harker off the wire here.
Yep.
Job market softening from high levels, heading back to normal. He also says the job market revisions weren't a surprise. The latest jobs report was a bit lower than expected. He says not a lot.
Shout out team higher highs. Next target to downside is 19,900. And overnight, 19,866. So it's gonna seem the
I
same.
bet you they try and battle to hold that level, though.
Yeah.
100.
Ooh, look at that.
Is that round number?
Yep, yep. Okay, so I just reversed the fibs, and here comes.
Okay, we got check marks at 89,
Here we go.
89.
Break it again. Break it again.
Yep.
That's right there at the Fibonacci, that that 889 is Fibonacci. So
Okay, we got a
next
couple of
grade, yeah.
And you can see them dipping. You
90,
can
we
see
hit
them.
90.
Yup.
The next level below is 878 from a Fibonacci perspective, and then 866.
78, 866, 878,
So that's
866.
the captain down there too at 889.
Correct.
80.
Yeah.
Am I placing bids here? What am I doing? I'm the executor here.
It's moving so fast.
$1,000,006 just closed out a short. He's looking for longs now. That's confluence from one of our levels guys looking for longs now. There was a nice snap off that low. We might not
Yup.
see it again.
Yes.
Right back at settlement in the NQ again. Man, 889 to the tick.
Nice colored,
Beautiful,
fib.
yeah.
Are we gonna take that on a pullback?
I would put it below on a pullback.
Where's our risk
still have
between low?
We still have Coach Shay's gap fill at 881.
81.
Yeah, and there's a fib sitting right there.
And 778. Emery 78, 866.
881, yeah, there's a fib at 881.
And I say our risk is yesterday's volume point of control at 866,
Yup.
which is also the overnight low.
So I have snagged 3 bids.
Oh, sure.
Nice.
Long.
Okay.
Look at us in there.
883, 881, and 878 and a half for some reason.
Yeah,
Just threw it on there.
I like it. I like
Right,
it.
right.
We can build into it.
Good gravy. These moves.
Snap. We were just talking about it.
I mean, bananas. If you're wrong, you know you're wrong in a hurry. And look at how much, oh my gosh, take a look at the ES measurement right here. This is just, I'm just shocked that, I don't know how long these patterns have been sitting in there, but this is the first time I've ever measured the first hour of trading, irrespective of, just when the market automatically opens. It came right down into, the 23. So it retraced almost 75% of that opening 1 hour candlestick and then bounced to the tick off of it. It was just insane. And if you had the long at settlement, here's the thing, it was bad if you didn't immediately get out, but if you watch the price action start moving back up, you're just sitting in the catbird seat, moving from these low Fibonacci zones. This is an anchor blue out from yesterday that I had on, and it came in, touched it, and moved right back up. I still think you've got a ton of downside pressure.
While we're working here, I've got one of my team members, the music man, and he's got a good point here. So we opened above range and value, if we show acceptance inside of value, that could bring us all the way to the low of value, which could take us down to around 830, 829, 830. Are we still looking to take these longs in the middle of this value area?
Coach Reese is the same thing. We might be trying to catch a knife, but that's why our risk is really tight. Our risk is below. We're getting in.
And overnight low.
Yeah, overnight low, 66. We should be hitting some bids right here. Are we in yet?
Not yet. I've got right now.
Oh, you had 81?
85 and a quarter.
85 and a quarter. Okay.
Just
And that's some comments from Coach
missed it.
We might be trying to catch a knife here on these longs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Maybe
But
downside. But he loves the level.
these are.
And, Captain's
We got
agreement.
we got three check marks on this. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do.
Close there.
Real close. Do we still like the next time down there?
Well, you know, we were saying the same thing about selling 20,000s. We were sold 20,000, sell 20,000s. And has anything fundamentally changed as to why short or why being long is incorrect? I guess is the question.
Captain says he
That's
needs
a longer time frame.
Ceiling at 920.
Ceiling at 920?
In the short time frame, it's to the downside.
Yeah.
Could we be looking at a trend day lower right now?
That's very.
Let's all put that on our. Let's all think about that. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Trend day lower. Range.
Put it in your just want to put it in your brain. Let's think about it for a second.
Yeah.
If that
Basically, the opening range is the high of the day in the NASDAQ. That's the first sign of a trend day.
Yeah.
Next, we're inside the range from yesterday. Third, if this next 30-minute bar opens below the weekly, below the value high from yesterday, 912, that's the first sign of acceptance or value acceptance or acceptance of value. If we do that, then there's a probability the price can come all the way back down to 827. And everything's a zone, of course. We're still working these orders.
Nice.
For now.
We'll make new lows here. Last trade 25, 10.
Yeah.
Just
And
reading the
again.
NASDAQ buyers are struggling. Just looking at the notes.
Beat you, hoop. I beat you to it, hoop.
Thanks, music man. James.
Yeah, this is a typical example of how to read trend in a market. When you've got a steep trend and you're sitting, if we look at gold, when you've got a steep trend and you have a line that you think is support, and the price action doesn't immediately come back and say, hey, listen, I'm interested, and buyers pile in, it becomes the notion of breaking trend by time and not price, meaning that if we use one of Robert's range candles, it would just be stuck dead. Exactly. And so it tells us there's more rotation to the downside. So that's kept me out of a lot of trades trying to pick bottoms, because that is naturally the way that I trade. So what I've learned to do is find ways to tell me I'm wrong if that's
Are we staying with these bids?
I think we get a reflexive bounce down there anyway.
Right.
Okay.
So the question might be, what targets do we pick? Do we
Working them. Working the orders.
Do we have
This could
targets
be our
that
only
sit?
attempt at a long.
Yeah, potentially, for sure.
Lumber up 1.25% now.
Ho ho.
Rail strike.
Yep.
What are the limits in lumber now?
Oh, I don't even remember. I think even the contract size has changed. It used to be 40,000 board feet.
That used to be my dad's thing in the morning. We were driving to school. We'd drop him off at the train station to head downtown to the Mercantile Exchange. And we get stopped at the same freight train every day. And he said, if you don't see a car of lumber on this train, we're going limit up today. no cars of lumber coming into the United States today.
Look at this. Look at this. Look for us.
So it filled this, right?
What do we get?
83 is our first bid.
Oh.
Right to it. '81's our number, so I just kind of centered our bids to put us at that average. And think of this. 83 and a quarter. That's still over that one. It's gonna get us down.
We got it now. We're about to get it.
Right. There's some stuff in here. Last trade, yes, 2008, 9.
Got us in for a total of 9 contracts if we get all filled here. Within a tick of us. Unbelievable.
Are we just seeing dead cat bounce after dead cat bounce here, Andre? What's your call?
It's dead cat. It looks like the buyers keep stepping in. Sellers can't push it lower. I don't just. Yeah, it's trying to figure out to this 19,900 level. We did dip peak beneath. I like how Amory was selling those 20,000s. It looked like, hey, maybe it's just when we're going to take it off, take the top off. But we're in the range today. Fed speakers are pretty much all saying the same thing today. 25-point cut coming in September.
So, the captain is saying he would probably wait for a failed downside auction before looking for any longs.
8 more minutes. Oh, we have 40 minutes.
We have
8 minutes, the initial balance.
Right. 7 minutes till that's established.
So I have some sells waiting at that 914, and then again at 919. But I did take that. Yeah, I like that. I think it's a great confluence together. I love the way he looks at the market. I feel like it's just so clean. So I have that waiting up there, but I also took that Fibonacci line. I had one waiting at that Fibonacci at 890, and then one at 880. The 880, of course, didn't fill, but the 890 did, and I just covered. And it's really, when you see me doing this, my philosophy is always, if I'm not using an indicator to get me in a trade, it is gone from my screen. I used to have so many indicators floating around, and now I'm just looking at these straight numbers, and I'm hammering on this particular strategy to see where its weaknesses are and where its strengths are. So right now I'm just hitting the fibs and watching it go into the levels, seeing what the risk is, and just not even thinking about, what if I'm just going, okay, boom, that's the long, boom, that's the short. And so, I'm only into it about 5 or 6 days, but this is getting almost there it is. All right, so there goes the short at 914. The next one I have is 919. I'm only going to have about $400 of risk on both contracts, and then if it stops me out, it stops me out. But wow, what a great long that would have been off that bottom.
And within a tick of it.
I know. All right, so let's see.
No FOMO, Hogue. No FOMO. We knew what our risk was. We weren't sacrificing it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
One of our team members, Annex Molly, the point of control flipped down to 19,907. Could be buyers getting in trying to reverse this.
Yeah.
Nice accumulation down there at 907.
Crud, and now we're inside of the first hour of trading.
Yes.
Should have thought through that a little better.
only traded all the way down to 25.07, which was last week's weekly kickoff high.
5 minutes remaining.
So what, Eddie? What we got? 5 minutes. Oh,
I got a hot pocket in the microwave. No, actually.
Man, I used to love those things when I was a kid. Oh, I hear
Actually, we
they're
do got,
terrible for you.
natural gas. The natural gas traders heads up inside of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got out of that trade.
Yeah.
With about, I think it was about $290. Because I don't want to see it climb into the next fib and hang out there. Of course, I could be, sell at hands today. And
it's okay on a day like today.
Captain says 920 ceiling was breached. Next upside target is 947, which lines up nicely with VWAP also.
Yeah.
So we just buy it.
We know our downside
Okay,
was low, right?
Wasn't a serious way. It wasn't a serious question.
Look at the bottoming formation that the 2-minute chart showed us right here. Dang it. If it comes back and holds the level, we should still buy it down there.
Yeah.
Okay. We're still in.
Is the case closed for a trend day, do you think?
No.
Too early to tell.
We're gonna have to extend below the initial balance and see some extension and acceptance below that. Watch it just end up being a range-bound day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's my guts.
Nothing fundamentally changed.
No.
Yeah, my gut. I look at that stinker losing that fib. Well, whatever.
Sometimes that's all you can say, Emery. Sometimes that's all you can say. It makes the
Need about 2 minutes. We'll be right back. The orders are working. The stop is in. We're safe. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Hold on.
we got some announcements coming up. Some announcements coming up here about 2 minutes.
Oh, it's
We got
stopped at
natural
that
gas
fib.
report.
I guess. That's more speakers all day today.
It's been a very exciting day, the morning so far.
Oh man, Eddie, you're doing great right there, man.
Here we are, right back through settlement again.
Let's get Phil. Hopefully we come back. We're along the 9 line by the time Ho gets back here. Okay, what the hell? We're along 9. Oh, last trade cruise, $72.50. High today, $72.89. Chop around his lows, about 10 points off the lows. Last trade, 40,900. Look at gold. Last trade,
Lord.
25.12. 25.12. Well, today, 25.05. We got that up to 25.15.
Yeah, it's coming up into it. If it holds it,
Yeah.
good bonds.
Anne-Marie, here in the chat, Raz says, Annie brings such a good vibe and warmth in her voice. Losing money makes it soothing.
Is that a compliment, Amber?
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to lose money with anybody from Anne-Marie.
Andrew says you got the calmest trader rage. 15 seconds on that gas number, you gas traders do.
Nick apologizing for the background noise. Happy Mitch.
Yeah, I know. I love it. Caught that, Jack?
Yeah, I thought that was very funny myself. Alright, lower lows, lower
Right,
highs.
natural gas. They were looking at 25 billion cubic feet, coming in at 35 billion cubic feet. There you go, gas traders. You handful of gas traders. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
All right.
In this government.
Initial balance is in. Open next 30-minute bar above the eye of the value area high.
So he's 3% long, and he has 50-50 XQ. Nothing really heavy one way or another.
Wow.
Just gonna have three check marks. Six lots. 9 down.
For toast.
GD. Hold on now. Hold on now.
Hang on. Okay, what, wow, that was just a flush. So let's see if we can recapture this fib at 880.
Point of control yesterday.
What's our average price, Hogue?
What is our average?
81, right on the number that everybody calls out.
Cup and handle, guys. Cup and handle.
Oh my goodness.
I love it, Jack. A1's long 9 from 881. We got defined risk.
Now, what are we looking for on the long side? What are we looking for?
It's a do or die here.
Maybe a failed downside auction here, but we're not gonna know for 25 minutes.
What about that? About the failed down. Why does it have to be 90 minutes in? Why, as opposed to?
Well, it doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
but that's where you get confirmation.
Fair enough.
We use this line, the next fib is 858. What's the stop?
Below the overnight low, 66. 66 is the overnight low. So risk was tight on this for sure.
I'm sure it not. 881.
Come on, buyers.
I like the
Get in there.
looks
We
like,
need
yeah.
a cheerleader. We need some
I
chicken
mean-
bones.
Yeah, some pom-poms.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a team thing.
Yeah, we got the stop in. What's Della? I'll flip that
Oh,
later.
yeah, that would be good. That would be
We
good.
gotta screw out of the anal
Speed
squeezer.
of 3,500 and they NASDAQ.
Yeah. You know that.
Okay, so that's moving in the same direction as
Yeah.
Yes.
price out. All right, so the battle here is a big deal.
Yeah, I see it.
The battle here's a big deal.
It's in,
Yes, crypto zombie. We all saw.
we got 81s. We got 81s, huh?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Now we gotta get up over 90.
19. Yeah, 19s.
And then we add.
Then we got, haha, this is my man.
Wait a
And
second.
more.
Now you're talking. JD, savage. Love it, love it, love it. See if we can push, see if we can push in these 1900s. 19,900.
I just want to get back to settlement. 909 is a great target space if we can get it. We've got
Let's go
to get
full
it.
screen to Hogue. Are we in there? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brixie took a nice long here at 56.35.50. You had to stop it. 50. Right, baby.
That was one of his levels. 56.34.5 is one of Brooksy's levels, so he took it.
Boom.
Nice job.
Check it out,
Emery looking for
friends.
19,009. Emery looking for 19,009, pushing consumer.
Settlement, baby.
Listen, Emery, fired up. I love it.
Took 3.
Good.
Well, shave off 3 long 6.
No, I didn't. Again. 3 now.
Pulling all out.
962. Unrealized up to 2,400. What do you think now? What do you think now, Chris? Zombie, whatever.
Oh, Hoke's talking trash to the chat, man. You never see that. Wow.
Yeah,
go. I'm leaving these three on forever. This is our
Oh,
run.
man. Let's go to 20,000. Take us to 20,000, baby.
Throw it the 401k, baby.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's push it. Sellers got squeezed.
Alright.
They gave it 3 tries. Could not take it low. We're trying to get above those 19,909. And Marie's calling for it. Can we
What's a
do it?
good trailing stop level for this?
Yes.
I want.
Just got it. Okay, so now the next bid would be that 12, the same place that Captain
Oh, pull that
was
seller.
for.
Pull that seller beneath.
I didn't even put it in. This is a stop.
Okay, okay.
So I'm thinking.
That our original stop price? Did you move the stop up?
Yeah, I moved the stop up.
Yeah, it's too noisy to keep the stop down there.
Ear horns are tough. I'm with you, Mitchell. Takes us
So
to
I'm
20.
gonna go below this last kind of swing low here. Right there.
Yeah,
Okay, below that last swing low.
what's that number?
1993 and a half.
All roads, bro. All roads.
That's the real
All roads.
Oh my gosh, what a fun, fast markets today.
Love making money.
He's like, who we had? You said we were toast. Dude, you said we were toast about 10 minutes ago. It felt like it. I ain't gonna lie, it felt like it. I saw it. I felt it too.
How about some one degree? We're done. We'll never make it. Come on.
How you gonna lie, JD? I was thinking it too, man. We just grit our teeth and just look on, dude. We white knuckled that thing.
5 points is
Right, so
nothing. The EQ is moving like that. It could
I
have.
know it.
I think we just got lucky.
Come on.
All skill. That was a team effort.
Absolutely.
All experts. That was a good
Pure
job.
skill.
Our entry was key, but that flush could have gone another 10 points.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, if you don't think that luck bears a
Make a
big
t-shirt.
part of
We're
what
toast.
happens to you, that is a good t-shirt. Yeah. If you don't think that luck matters, you really ought to rethink that. Because there's so much, we have no idea what the market's gonna do from day to day.
We just got our stop on the trail.
Perfect.
$2,900.28 profit.
Nice trade. Good start. And we're starting off here. Nice start. Plus 2,900. Trade. Nice,
So
nice,
we are potentially looking at a failed downside auction here. Let's see if it plays. We could reload if we get back down near the lows here.
Still have 20 minutes, right?
Yes, we do.
20 minutes. We also have some stats. We got some news. We got some announcements here on Fast Markets. If you guys are liking this action, some very high quality trading. Well, some really great levels from the entire top step team. Click like, click subscribe. Fast Markets is fast today. Snapback movement, Hilly Gamers.
Do you hate when you heat up your coffee and you forget you just heated it up and you take a big swill of it and burn your mouth?
You get the roof in your mouth, oh.
That happens.
It's gonna take a couple days. It's gonna take a couple days.
I gotta tell you, I have to recommend the Ember, which keeps your coffee at the desired temperature.
This is a fancy contraption you have.
I got one of those down right now.
What's this bougie coffee mug you have over there? What do you got? You can't just drink it off a normal mug, Henry. It's gotta be something like that.
It was ranked as like the #1 pregnancy gift on Wirecutter. And yes,
Raking
very nice.
coffee mugs. Raking coffee mugs.
Keep a turkey warm in that cup.
You just don't want to drink on it when there's like about half an inch left because it literally tastes like paint thinner.
Like has a number of mugs.
So, you don't want to drink it when it's hot enough to be sitting there. Okay, so gold is starting to hold this edge. The problem is it looks just like the last edge, so what it has to do is break above and then come back and hold that level that we really like around, what was that number, 5?
I have a one lot alert in there. 25, 15, 8. I actually have one lot alert in there. semi am actually long. See how that plays out.
That
Three check
low
marks.
in-
Three
The
check
low
marks.
in gold is last week's weekly kickoff high. I left it on my chart in gray because I thought it might be important. Well, what do you know? We're doomed. We'll never make it.
I'm going out for toast right there.
Croissants. You're going for a croissant there. JD. Oh, that was great. That was fantastic.
JD, I love you, man.
That was so funny.
I know.
I think it's part of trading. The range of emotions a trader will go through in their head. We just happen to be on air. We say that normally to ourselves. Just happen to have a microphone camera in front of ourselves. So you guys get to hear all of our internal thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but truly unfiltered.
They're real. Yeah, they're real.
Lumber. Lumber now up 1.85%. Screaming.
What's limit up for them?
It used to be $5. That's per 1,000 board feet. But I think they've changed the size of the contract. I can look it up when we have a few minutes here.
You are digesting just under settlement. And we are really far away from the open, at the low of the 1 hour candlestick.
I'll see what it is.
And very far from the unit opening range here, which is all the way up at 9.
Tracy says, and thank you, Tracy, for looking that up. It's 110,000 board feet. It's like almost 3 times the old contract.
Wow.
All right. Well, it does look like we're kind of consolidating. Maybe taking another peek
Yeah.
low here. We'll see. It's always to get exhausted here. All right, we'll throw it to my man Gabe. Gabe, we got some announcements today here. It's a little past, I don't know, the hour. But Gabe, we got announcements here on Top Step TV. What's up, Gabe?
We do indeed. Right, let me get my screen over to you guys. Alright, so if you are not aware,
Thank you everybody
we
for
have
coming by.
released hotkeys from TopStep X. There's a couple slight adjustments recently over the last week that I want to point out to you guys if you are not aware. First thing is to actually locate where to set up the hotkeys. So you're going to go over to the far left-hand side to the gear icon, which is going to be your platform settings. Go ahead and write this real quick. Alright, so we're going to go over to the second to the last tab on the top right, which is going to be hotkeys. You'll notice that there is a new call to action at the very top of the list. So this is notifying you that after creating a hotkey, so by setting one up in this page that we're on here, you're going to need to do one last step to enable them to be used once you get back to your charts. So I'll show you what that is in just a moment, but it's just a little H icon at the top of your for your order panel. But let's go ahead and set up a hotkey. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got one already set up for my market. So we got that my up arrow key. Let's go ahead and increase my contract size. So I'm going to go down to the bottom. That's the third from the last. I'm going to go ahead and increase that with the plus sign on my keyboard. Looks like it's already in use. I don't know where. So 0. And to reduce my contract size, I'm going to go ahead and do whatever you want them to be. You're just going to go to the far right hand side, click on the gold set hotkey button, plug in the command that you'd like to use, and then just hit confirm. If you want to clear something or change it, all you're going to do is go ahead and click on set hotkey again, and then you can simply clear and confirm to remove that hotkey. So very easy to set up, very easy to get rid of or clear out whatever inside. So I'm going to go back over to my charts. And the H is going to be right at the top corner next to where the linking system is for the charts. So the link components together, that's going to be the little blue dot in my case. This is where you change that, but it's gonna be right next door. It's gonna be
Not
this
for
little
font
gold
trades with
H
charge. I got my
border
own
around
system. I
to
don't
make
need
sure that
anyone or
is
anything to
golden or enabled. You'll see that's colored in once it's actually turned on. So now I wanted to buy at market. Let's say I wanted to increase my contract size. I'm gonna click on hit my 0 a few times. Looking at 10 possible contracts now in my DOM, and I would simply just execute the order accordingly. But that's it. So just a couple quick changes I wanted to point out to you guys. Just no longer have to actually click into the DOM or click into the order panel to use the hotkeys. They're also now giving you a little call to action at the top to make sure you know the final step to be able to use them in real time. And they have a little hyperlinked article if you'd like some more details and instructions to proceed. But that's all I have for you guys in the hotkeys. I'm gonna send it back to you, Andre, and back to these markets.
Great work, Gabe.
I would love to have a poll that gave the demographic of people who are comfortable using hotkeys versus people who won't. Because literally, I start breaking out in a sweat thinking about having hotkeys because I don't know, it just makes me nervous. And I wonder if it's because, I'm kind of an old dog, right? Trying to learn a new trick, you know what I mean?
My fear is that I start typing something and I get into a whole bunch of positions.
Me too.
What do you think, guys?
We get another lower coming, or what?
Well,
we tested settle got rejected.
Yeah, we're kind of at the failed auction area here. And those failed auctions aren't that long. We're having trouble holding below the initial balance. We're right here. I want to see how this market reacts. We could feasibly look for longs against the low of the initial balance, which we're right at it in the NASDAQ, and use the current low as a risk. But if we do start to extend below, then it turns into more of a deeper short. It's kind of a pivotal area here, but this is just my 2 cents. If we get check marks in either direction, I'm executing.
All right. Let's
gold up into that level.
I'm gonna ask the guys in Discord right now, are we
Yeah.
shorting around settlement, or are we getting long and initial balance low?
Let's round up some more levels, higher highs, my man going all over it, money, bulldozer, zeros, stop, posted.
Traders, if
So-
you're not in the daily level,
Got beat up today over trade. Was able to fight back.
you're missing out.
So enough.
You really are missing out bigly.
Now we're seeing some extension.
Private channel, what's that?
We had to get back above 920 to confirm the failed downside auction, and we did not. No failed downside auction. Obviously, we're continuing to extend the range lower. This is going to end up being a value acceptance play. See what it looks like when we were trading NASDAQ today, which I never do. 828 is value low. We get down there, we can take another look at possible turnaround.
Help me
What line is
remember,
828.
help me remember the value extension thing. Is that what you said? Help me
Yeah,
remember what that
so-
is again.
Here it is. Using the profiles, I split these in just a second. This platform is seizing on me a little bit here from time to time. All right, so
God, that bounce.
here's the opening range in the NASDAQ. There's the high of the regular trading hour session yesterday. We opened above the range. When we show signs of acceptance inside value, and this is the TPO value high here at 912, once we show acceptance, there's a probability of price reaching the other extreme of value, which could take us down to that 828 level. Now, we have opened and are kind of, showing some degree of acceptance through time inside value, and now we just extended the range a little bit deeper into value. Let's see if we get to value area low and see if maybe we can leave some sort of auction fade there, return back to the upside.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for anything huge to happen like this. These markets
Yeah.
will fall apart.
Huh?
These shorts, man. These shorts, it ain't easy being short down there. No, these shorts keep getting faced.
No.
These buyers step in, they face them. Damn near every time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they know they're fighting. They're counter trend a long time.
Coach Shea just chimed in Discord saying if we get back to settle, I think we reclaim it now. So possibly reclaiming settlement back to the highs.
3 points off settle.
And notice how it bounced right off of that 2618 of that opening range. Just
It took
right
out the overnight
here
line,
in
right
the
back through.
boom. It's just
And shout out to the team. That was a really good exit on that trade. Really good exit. Love the idea of settlement.
yeah. I feel like I've opened up a box of the most amazing chocolates. Understanding settlement. Honest to goodness, settlement has been sort of this. I don't even know how I missed it through all the years of trading. I just not listening to the smart people like I should have, like you guys. But that settlement has just been so golden. It tells me, hey, listen, we're moving away from it, or we're going to bounce towards it, and you know, if we don't, I can really understand what Jay's saying. If we recapture settlement, it should be just a sort of a sideways day, because what did we have at 11:30 Eastern time last night? We sort of bounced into this low, fell a little below it, completely recaptured it, and it could be a bottoming framework in general. You know, it really could be from a sideways perspective. So I'm just, I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing with these Fibonacci's. If you're sitting in trend and you're watching the levels, it's just a very nice way to mechanize your motion and not hold on for a big move. Just see money, take money. See money, take money. And you can carve out a ton if you're just, you know, the most contracts I've held this morning are 2. And I started trading right when the market opened up. And so it's just a nice, clean way to walk through the mechanical motion.
Hey, Hogue, Anne-Marie, for the people in the cheap seats, what is settlement price? People want to know.
Exactly what I was going to say. There you go, JD.
I like that, JD.
Back to you, John.
It's 19,909?
909 and the NASDAQ. Settlement price is set by the exchange. The settlement price is not the same as closing price. They are two different things. Settlement price is the price that exchanges base margins off. You always explain that better than I can. But
Okay.
give us the elevator pitch on settlement price.
Settlement price is basically based loosely, sometimes around where the regular trading hours ceases. So, like in S&Ps, stocks close at 3 o'clock Central Time. So settlement is going to be based loosely around the closing price at 3 o'clock. Even though the S&Ps trade until 4 o'clock in Chicago time, they settle at 3 o'clock. You have other products, and basically that's the level that any open positions are marked for margins. So now there's other markets that close at different times, like gold. The closing for settlement price is 12:30 or thereabouts, right? So the settlement price yesterday in gold was 25.47.5, and then the market continued to trade and ended up closing the day a little bit higher than that. So it is where the exchange marks to the market for the positions for margin. So you've got different settlement times. Gold settles at 12:30. Oil settles at 1:30. Treasuries and currencies settle at 2 o'clock, and these are all, of course, Central Chicago time. Equities, treasuries, yes, treasuries settle at 2, and equities settle at 3 o'clock. The nice thing is, now that we have the top step levels available on your charts, hang on a second, here we go. So if I want to put the top step levels on the charts, I'm going to go to, where did my lost my, let me try a different chart here. Here we go.
We're pushing higher. Is it 7 degrees now?
Where's my,
Andre,
lost my,
you still long gold?
what'd you lose?
I am. Well, it's just a one line. Yeah, a triple check mark on the 25.15. Just it's in the sim. I just want to see how they played. Yeah, Emery, Hogue, and Jay both like 25.15 and 80 cents. Obviously, it takes.
Well, if you put on top step daily levels, it's going to put settlement on the chart for you. I'll have to figure out what happened to my indicator stat.
Did you refresh their open?
Refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can show you two real quick.
There it is. It's back. So I put settlement on my charts every day in this yellow line. But if you go to indicators and add top step daily levels, it's going to show up right there for you. 56.41 quarter, and that was settlement 56.41 half.
Algo's pretty much indicator. Works the same but different. If you don't use algo correctly, if you don't use indicator correctly, they are both tools, like a compter with his hammer. Some use them, some don't. The stock market is a giant algo. All the selling and buying runs in algos. Continuous buying, continuous selling algos. I know if the indicators were gone, I can still do the same thing. I don't rely on them to trade. It helps me find levels, so I don't have to take the time to look for them. Anyone taking trades based on indicators are using them wrong.
Okay.
Gather much from what the price action is.
So, I'm a little bit concerned because we've got single TPOs here. Okay, we've got very little price bar overlap to the downside. But if we
What are those prices right there? Sorry to interrupt. What are those
that's
prices?
okay, no, that's fine.
I know a lot of
This is
people
the
do
S&P,
this.
you're probably looking.
Okay, yeah.
So the price, the gap here, or the single TPOs above, go on the downside from 19,916
Algo's pretty much indicator.
to
Works the same but differently. If you don't use algo correctly, if you don't use indicator,
one time
they're
framing
both
lower,
tools.
we do have the
Like a
start of a
carpenter
trend
with his
in the
hammer.
downside
Some
going
use them,
here.
some don't. The stock market is a giant algo.
Open the next 30-minute
All the selling and buying run
below
in
the initial
algos.
balance, that
Continuous
could
buying,
mean
continuous selling algo.
that we're rejecting and
I
have a-
know
and
if
a-
the
and a
indicators were
potential
gone, I
failed
can still do the
downside
same
auction.
thing.
The
I don't
concern
rely on
is
them.
the one-time framing activity that we've seen since the open in both the S&P and in the NASDAQ. So I want to try and stay patient. If we do open, which we just did, okay, we've opened. We left a couple of single TPOs here. If we leave those single TPOs, which we just come out, right back to the IB low, if we can't show acceptance back inside the IB low, this could continue to roll over, and perhaps even finish the value acceptance play, which I think is done in 2018, the NASDAQ. So what the market just did was it opened at the worst possible level for any decisions at this price at this time.
It's one of those days, man.
One of those days.
It's proving yourself.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. See
proving.
profit, take profit. I mean, being long down here, you're taking a lot of heat. Shorts down here, we're not getting any traction either. Downside, pretty tricky area where we're at right now. Buyers are stepping in here.
If I had to pick a side, I'd pick the long side.
Hey,
That's just me.
all these levels have been exhausted where we're currently trading. So, and Emery looking for a push into settle. See how we SEC So maybe take a short settle, 19,909.
So there's a guy on X, Twitter. His name is Scott Redler, and he has this little formation that he only trades stocks, but he has this formation called the Red Dog Reversal, and that's what this looks like it's building. And so I think Jay, thinking that we hold and reclaim settlement, is falling right into that mechanical flow of this is not going to be a fair short anymore. It's going to go up to that 940 level that John was just talking about, where all the single points collapse into. So yeah, that's my thought. Now, what would be nice is if we formed an inverted head and shoulders right at that Fibonacci at around that 890 zone. So we come up, we press into 920, we pull back, and then we look at 890 to hold for the upshot into 940.
Settle.
Yeah, your guy, JD, your guy, Captain, is long NASDAQ right now.
Just long at 878, stop at 850, target 947.
Yeah, you have a system that works for you and it's proven itself to you. Me personally,
Fails there, he's out.
what would happen if the algo broke or something? If you rely on it for 28 months, what would happen if it got pulled? Some of the platforms I use, like Apex, pure candlesticks, no indicators.
Tag in, tag out. So I'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Love you, JD.
Alright, thanks, JD.
And
JD, we'll see JD soon shortly. Who is that? JD out. Wow, what's up, guys? That was quick.
Nice backdrop there.
you're saying,
Jack in. Wow. Right. What's up?
Not too much.
I'll
He
go
was nice enough to let him know he wouldn't be on today a little bit before the show started. So me and
To what
JD
you're
are kind of
saying.
switching in at the last second. But he did say he was watching. So MD, if you're out there, what's up? But I've been watching in the background here. That was an awesome trade.
It's been really nice. Everybody's been converging on the same, we're all seeing the same thing, but using different things to bring us to the levels. So I love it when that happens.
One when a flame comes together.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Speaking now. Hey, who's speaking? We got anything?
Jay says he's long from 91.
Alan speaking. Soon it'll be appropriate to take easy policy. I have seen a significant reduction in inflation. The economy is in a pretty good place. I'm not seeing red flags. We're all saying the same thing. We're giving the green light for it. Jeff, is that how you read this?
Yeah, sorry, just getting settled in here. Full disclosure, I am long 1ZN. And I will be
My man.
for the rest of the day. I'm going to get settled in here.
The rest of the day.
That's the way bonds move, brother.
It is exactly how. I love it. Just declaring an all-day trade.
I like the body profile sitting there on this chart. It looks good.
Oh yeah, the chart is for the MES actually, because I know that's what you all want to see, as opposed to watching my bond go nowhere for the entire afternoon. All right, so I won't do the full like what are the levels, catch me up, but do we have any trades that are near right now, or are we kind of in a holding pattern?
Well, we've been looking at the possibility of a failed downside auction in the equities. We've got one of our team members, JD's team member, the captain, is long really nicely. He's looking for a continuation. He wants to see it get up above 920 in the NASDAQ. If it doesn't go pretty soon, he says he's going to cut it because he feels like it's kind of a counter-trend move. But if we do keep that downside auction intact, I just said a few minutes ago, if I had to do something, I would probably look for a long down there. But we do have From single TPOs above, we're really starting to see some really range-bound activity here in the S&Ps as well as the NASDAQ. I'm going to put the fixed range profile on here, so we're going to be able to see that. So a lot of just kind of hanging out. Here's the NASDAQ profile. So yeah, opening range, continuation, back into value, very just kind of range bound back and forth here. This is an hour and a half long where we've really been kind of centering around this area. So I'm looking for opportunities if near the extreme on the low. Would love to see, if I were long, I would love to see it take out these single TPOs back here and make this one single big profile where I think we may just rotate back and forth all day. Do we have a potential downside? Do we have a failed downside auction here at the low? And that to me is probably the biggest nuance. Shorter time nuance. We still have the possibility of a value area special situation completion down to 828. We do have a failed auction. We've tested the both points of control. Those are comfort levels. We looked at them and we left them behind. So I would be looking probably for potential longs. Again, I've got to limit risk, and I wouldn't be looking for longs at this level. I'd like to be long where the captain is, which is 878.
Always ideal. Yeah, I think we're just chilling ahead of the whatever Daddy Powell decides to say. The only thing that keeps me from being real good with longs is the daily chart, right? We're still screaming to the upside. We were talking about this huge sell-off.
Why? What's up?
On the day. One of the hammers is coming one of these days.
Go downstairs. I'll go downstairs right now. Just go downstairs. I'll go down there right now.
It means where you get an actual pullback. It went up 30 points overnight and then goes back to flat. And we're like, wow, what a sell-off.
I know. Well, what was 2 Mondays ago? Was it 2 Mondays ago, the hammer?
That was an example, yes.
Off in crude, last trade $72.80, high today $73.12. Oh, selling off again. We had that level 25.15. I took a peek above. Right back to it. All right, sellers stepping in here. The ES making the first move to the downside. Last trade 56.39.5. Yes, NQ not following tick for tick quite as fast. He's at 19,900 level, last trade 19,890. Oh, we like longs. What, you get something?
No, we haven't.
We said we like this is the level.
Got any check marks on anything.
We like 7/8, right? Have to like 7/8.
He was in it. He's out of it now.
What?
He was in it. He's out of it now.
Hard rejection of selling.
Yep.
But holding that location for now.
More of the that we're going to continue to push and extend this range to the downside. Value low 828 completes the value area acceptance play. Got an afternoon pullback low down at that level, which is 832. This will be my target area if I were short. It doesn't mean that this isn't going to just turn around and go back higher. I mean, we do have potential, a failed downside auction if it holds. We're seeing one-time framing action. We're seeing trending action to the downside. So I don't like longs. I said, if I had to, I would have been long near the low, but I would be out by now. And so I'm looking like this market is probably going to finish the value acceptance play again. And the NASDAQ, that's down to 828. And the S&Ps, that is all the way down to 56.25 quarter, 56.25. It's all the way down there. What's that look like on the chart? Let's take a look. All right. So we've given up the 50 session moving average on the 30-minute chart. We've given that up. Our risk risk on that long in the S&P and the NASDAQ was up against the 100 session simple moving average on the NASDAQ. Well, there it is in the S&Ps. Value low, where we say it was 25, barely within the reason for a potential target.
So
there's that afternoon pullback low, also down to that 25, 26 level. That looks like a tasty little visual target for a continuation move to the downside. If we started to see 3-bar reversals down there, then maybe I'd start thinking about it. Obviously, we've got, we've got one time framing activity. We're trending to the downside in the day time frame. Anything contrary to that should be see money, take money. We did a good job doing that with the longs that we did take. But I'm looking, I'm looking for the market to. I mean, we just took out the low of the potential failed downside auction in the S&Ps. Do we take out in the NASDAQ? We're close to it. No, we did not.
I've been streaming this whole time.
9 ticks of it. There's the low of that right there. So, I mean, the nice thing about buying it here is that you can keep it really cheap.